Today I'll be setting the world record for the largest dripping pendulum painting. This is a brand new record, so in order to be recognized, I need to reach 2,000 square meters. In order to do this properly, I'm gonna need a 250-foot crane, 150 by 150 foot canvas, with a giant piece of plastic down to protect a parking lot bigger than a football field, all to just swing a big old bucket of paint around. I have been creating pendulum paintings almost every single day for 4 years, so I feel like I have the most credibility to do a project like this, and it worked perfectly because as a kid, I always wanted to achieve a Guinness World Record, and this was the perfect connection of the two of them. I've been creating all my videos in this tiny space, and I'm so ready to take this to the next level. World's largest painting, okay? The size of a hockey rink. I want to do it in either LA, Las Vegas, or here. We need a huge sponsor, we need a bunch of people that believe in us, and we need a giant team of people, and it's going to be a blast, and we're going to make it happen.
Sheesh!
This project took an extensive amount of research, everything from 3D modeling the entire parking lot, including that 250-foot tall crane. I 3D printed that at a 1:200 scale, and I took that and did all sorts of paintings, and then took it a step further and did physics simulations, all checked by my physics teacher from high school. Shout out Mr. Perrone. Unfortunately, this really didn't go as smooth as I would have liked. The first big wake-up call on how gigantic this project was when I went to pick up the canvases. I had a huge truck and they needed a forklift to put all the pallets of canvas in. Logistics are ridiculous. Luckily, I'll be working with Copilot on this to actually knock it out of the park. But for right now, I can't even wrap my brain around. I'm gonna have to call somebody and ask them to book a crane to do a painting. I'm sure they've never heard of that.
LaGrange Crane, this is Pat speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is Cole Newman. I am calling about potentially renting a crane for a project that's probably not conventional whatsoever.
Either way, I mean, happy to work it out with you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for your help. Cranes are typically meant to stop things from swinging, not get them swinging. At this point, I've got the canvas, I've got the crane, now I need a space big enough to do this. I really didn't know where to start. The first thing is I started calling like airplane hangars and like airports to see if they had an open space, but there are planes on them. They're not gonna let me do that. Second was I'm gonna start calling farmers and see if I can get someone to just give me a thumbs up to do it, but that didn't work. So I ended up going with a giant parking lot near downtown Dallas. The final big challenge was I needed a bucket big enough to do this. I can't just have like one of my regular 1-gallon buckets. Even a 5-gallon bucket is not gonna work for this. Because it's swinging so fast and weighs about 2,000 pounds, I'm gonna need something where I can press a button and know that it's gonna start dispensing paint in the exact way I needed. And also I need to fabricate something that the crane can hook onto, because a loose bucket at that much pressure is gonna go whee and fly away. I figured what better person to fabricate a frame for this bucket than the actual crane operators. So they took it and ran with it. It looks like a medieval torture device. Exactly 2 days before the event, I'm currently loading up the entire storage unit. It's pouring rain outside, I don't know if you can tell, so wish me luck. Now fast forward until the day before the event. Everybody shows up on time, we're unloading the truck, taking our time, spirits are high, and then I get a phone call that the crane is stuck in the mud. My whole goal of today was to get a feel for this parking lot, get the crane set up, and do our tests. It was really a chill day, just make sure we're in the headspace to do this, but we had to pivot completely. At this point, we were doing anything to kill time. We were measuring the entire parking lot and trying to visualize it. We were unloading all of our supplies and getting it organized. I was also assembling the painting dispensing apparatus. But then I get another phone call, my hopes go to the moon, and then they are absolutely crushed when I learn that that crane is lodged in the mud and is not going anywhere. We're a little bit behind schedule. Of course, there's always gonna be something that goes wrong. He refers me to another crane operator who's supposed to call me later, but then finally something positive happens. The bucket arrives and we can start painting it. I chose those bright red and yellow colors because I wanted it to pop, and it did look like a medieval torture device, so I needed something that people would want to look at versus be afraid of. And honestly, with that black background, it was gonna pop. That color contrast was perfect. It is now the end of the day, now or nothing, and I get that last phone call. My hopes are already low, but they're about to get crushed as I learn that the second crane operator can't do it either. So I guess we've concluded that this will wrap up today. I'm gonna get here at the crack of butt, and we're gonna make it happen. I'm really concerned. I don't think it's gonna work. Now it's day 2. I woke up at like 4 a.m. and I start pre-writing my obituary because I have no crane. I don't know what to do. So I just decided to go on site and just pretend that we're still doing it and hope that a crane shows up. Now it's about 8 a.m. My setup team arrives, my media arrives, still no crane, but then out of the corner of my eye, I see a giant truck coming.
Crane is on site. I'm so stoked. The thing is freaking huge.
There is trumpets playing in my brain as I see the light. The future of this project is back, and I tear up that obituary.
It is crazy. You can just swipe your card and that appears.
When I was prepping for this, I went to Farmer's Almanac and it said it would be little to no wind. But what I learned very quickly is little to no wind is very different than no wind. Once we finally hit that groove laying down that plastic tarp, the tape in between each line splits because of the wind, and it looks like this desert mirage as it like wiggles back and forth, and everybody's just defeated. We're all just kind of staring off in the distance as this thing almost blows away. At the same time this had happened, we ran out of tape. So I sent my wife to go get more, and she comes back with this mega sticky duct tape, and I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to do with this. And I realized that she had just saved the day. We can tape the entire drop cloth down and seal it from the wind, so there's no floppiness from sandbags holding down and having big gaps. It's now about 12:30, we just broke for lunch, but we haven't even started on the canvas, and Tina from Guinness World Records is showing up in 2 hours. We finish up lunch and we go into the next phase of setting up that canvas. It's all black. We're gonna roll out each of these 5-foot by 150-foot strips until we get 32 of them wide to reach over 150 feet. It's now about 2 p.m. The Texas heat has set in, and that black canvas is getting so hot, soaking in so much sunlight, it's almost melting people's shoes. After about an hour of laying down this canvas, I realized this is gonna take so much longer than I thought. And right as I had that revelation, Tina from Guinness World Records showed up. I don't know what to do from here. After we talked for a bit, she decided to go back to her hotel because it was just so hot, and I pull up my phone, I start delaying everybody. I've got like 3% battery, but it is just trying its best, telling everybody to show up late, and at that point, I'm pulling out my obituary from the trash and taping it up because I don't know if this is gonna work. We are now 3 hours behind. We've been setting up canvas. Friends and family jumped in to help. This was truly a group effort. We have completed the canvas. Tina shows up and we get right to measuring. Of course, right as I start to feel good, our tape measure breaks. I bought 3 tape measures and all of them broke. So we're like tying stuff together, taping it together. We gotta get the record, we gotta measure it, and this is our only way to do it. I pretty much nailed every part of this, but there was one tiny little error that almost derailed the entire project, and that was I used the imperial system and Guinness World Records uses the metric system, and I've always assumed that a yard is the exact same as a meter. Turns out they are not. 50 yards is around 46 meters. And so my math was completely off, and I had to reach that 2,000 square meter record, and we didn't do it. We were at like 1950. What do we do? But luckily I bought an extra little strip of canvas. We threw that on, glued it down, and we barely reached that 2,000 requirement. After an entire day in the sun, my voice is completely gone. Everyone's so tired, but none of that matters because we got that check mark on the clipboard and we are ready to go.
This is a new Guinness World Records category. Means that if we successful today, Cole will be the first one to get this Guinness World Records. And the minimum of this record is 2,000 square meters. So if Cole is ready, we can start to do the painting.
And now as I'm walking over to tell Mike, the crane operator, that it is time to go, I'm just thinking about how every single year during the book fair, I'd save all my money so I could buy that Guinness World Records book. And now I'm making my inner child happy. All I have to do is press one button.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
At this point, I am so happy. I've done it, I've achieved the record in my mind, but I look over and Tina is running my way to tell me that I didn't get one of the requirements, which was to reach 80% of the canvas. The crane had only reached about maybe 50%. And so once she had told me that, I look at Mike in the eye and we just nod and he starts going freestyle mode. We cover all those corners. It was crazy. We've done it. There's no more paint, the crane's not swinging anymore, and we've checked the box, but she needs to verify that it's reached 80%. So we hand her the drone monitor, which has a top-down shot of the canvas, and she's deliberating and kind of looking at it, and I just walk away. I'm like, record or no record, we've done something, I'm happy. And when I look back, she's handing me the plaque. Congratulations, you're officially amazing, and I did it.
I can safely say that big dreams are what Cole is full of, and he just loves to live those out and live a little bit dangerous.
And if anybody could do it, Cole could.
Yeah, that's true.
So his grandfather always was telling the grandchildren to shoot for the stars. That was the biggest thing. He said, don't limit yourself. And I believe Cole has accomplished that and will continue to shoot for the stars.
I wonder what he's going to do next.
That's exactly right. That's what I was thinking.
I want to give a special shout out to the Guinness World Records, to the Microsoft and Super Digital team, to my manager Chaz, to my wife Avery, to the setup team, to ISO 400 Studios who did all the media, to Busy Bee Steel Erectors who brought the crane on site, as well as all of my friends and family who were there and that were there in spirit. I thank you so much, and you deserve this record just as much as I do. I want to thank each and every one of my online supporters. I would not be where I am today, and I definitely would not have done this project without you. I am so excited to share what's next for my journey, and I'll see you soon.